Meet the computer you can talk to. With Copilot on Windows, working, creating, and collaborating is as easy as talking. Got writer's block? Share your screen with Copilot Vision to help spark inspiration, and use Copilot Voice to have a conversation and brainstorm ideas. Or maybe you need some tech help. With Copilot Vision, Copilot sees what you see. Let Copilot talk you through step-by-step guidance so you can master new apps, games, and skills faster. Try now at windows.com/Copilot.
'Tis the season to cozy up with all your favorite holiday movies and shows.
You coming?
Where?
To the North Pole, of course!
Like A Very Jonas Christmas Movie and Home Alone on Disney+.
Did I burn down the joint? I don't think so.
Then snuggle up with The Polar Express and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with Hulu on Disney+.
I think we're all in for a very big Christmas treat.
This season, there's something for everyone with Hulu on Disney+. Bundle subscription required. Terms apply. Visit disneyplus.com/Hulu for details.
This show is part of the Head Stuff Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to Shy Talk, an Irish history podcast. My name's Kevin Larney and here's another old episode that we've retouched up for the Christmas season. Basically, the Christmas got on top of us, alright? We were having too much fun. We did the Carlow Comedy Festival and a couple of other things were happening this week. So we're running a bit behind schedule, but this is a old episode that is relevant to all the dev stuff we did earlier in the year. This is the IRA's Christmas raid of 1939. So before or in or around the S plan, Sean Russell's over in the States. The IRA are trying to get a load of more weapons in and around the start of World War II for the S plan and different bits that we talked about during that series. But even if you didn't listen to all the dev stuff, it's just a fun self-contained episode about the Irish Army at the time. So here you go. We've got one or two more episodes that we're working on editing and putting together that hopefully should be out this side of Christmas. But enjoy this. This is an episode from Christmas 2022. So I think there's a couple of references to COVID in there and also some great takes on Love Actually, which everyone's done them to death now. A couple of years ago, they were only kind of done to that. So anyway, enjoy this episode. Merry Christmas. Good luck. It's Christmas. It's the Christmas Day, 2022. There's a sense of wonderment in the air. I haven't got a Christmas feeling yet, have you?
No, we've been too busy for Christmassy feelings.
I've been a bit busy doing Christmassy stuff, but no, it hasn't really hit in that it's festive.
No, yeah.
I feel like I had some opening monologue prepared for this Christmas episode, but now I can't remember.
Is it just a speech from Scrooge?
I'd love to get a clip of that. Actually, there's a great bit in Muppets Christmas Carol. I probably said this last Christmas, but I find it very funny. You know, when the ghost of Christmas future is there, and he's pointing at the gravestone, and Michael Caine is like, "Which grave is it, spirit? Is this one?" And he just, the chancery. He just points at a completely different grave. It's like, is this the one you want to show me, spirit? The one of a different man? No, it's the fucking open one there that says your name on it, Scrooge.
You gotta try.
You gotta try. God loves a trier, but apparently the ghostly death Muppet of Christmas Future didn't. But there's a new version of that film out, apparently, or a longer version of that Michael Caine's Muppet Christmas Carol.
All right.
Yeah, with more singing.
I'm good.
Yeah, maybe that's why you're not feeling festive. 'Cause you're not watching Muppets Christmas Carol on repeat.
Yeah, there's better Christmas films.
Like what?
Like usually every year I always say like, Love Actually, that's not good. But then I'll put it on and be like, it's actually pretty heartwarming.
It's actually,
it's not good,
it's
but
not
God,
good.
It's fun and enjoyable.
I got late to it. I only watched it for the first time maybe a few years ago. And I always assumed that, because I always saw the memes being shared around by, my woker friends. I always kind of assumed that all the relationships were like forward thinking. I don't know. When you go back and look at this, they're all terrible.
Yeah.
There's not one good relationship. The one specifically you always see is the guy standing outside showing the written notes to like Keira Knightley.
Yeah, he's trying to steal his best friend's wife away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's standing outside their house the right after getting married, and he's professing his love to her, as well as having ruined her wedding tape because he just focused on her. Yeah. And now he's out in the court. And I think at the time of the filming as well, she's like underage.
But I don't know about that.
I'm just going to throw that in there as well. It's not fucking good. And then of all the relationships, I don't think any of them are particularly healthy. The most healthy one, I think, is the two
Liam
porn
Neeson.
stars. Liam Neeson. There's a funny line.
His wife dies, and he spends the rest of his life going, "I'm just going to be miserable and not take it. I'm not going to go find love." That's what you're meant to do.
I can't remember because I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm pretty sure there's a funny line where he's like, because Liam Neeson's he's related to the boy, and at some point someone's like, "Is this your son?" He's like, "No, this is my stepson."
Oh, right.
He goes out of his way to clarify. It's it's a stepson.
Did his Mrs. pass away in real life as well, didn't she?
I think so, maybe.
Yeah. I think that's what makes that an even tougher role.
Yeah.
That's good, though.
That
and About a Boy is a good Christmas film.
About a Boy is it Christmassy?
Yeah. They meet up for Christmas on it. It's like Catch Me If You Can is a good Christmas film.
Catch Me If You Can, that is a good Christmas film. That's true. Back when the big twist in that is that he figures out he's a boy because he's when Tom Hanks is like, he realizes that all the names he's been using are comic book character names. He's like, he must be a kid. Whereas nowadays, if you're using a comic book character name as an idiot, you could be a 40-year-old man and known at Bad Island.
We've got to narrow down to people who like comic books.
Hang on a second. He's using what's his name? The Flash. I don't know, Barry Allen. Is like, obviously he must be a child, probably aged 12 to 14, which is the demographic for this kind of material. Oh, how times have changed.
How about this? How about you get off that topic before we lose about 20% of our listenership?
Yeah. Listen. Oh no, I talked about this on the live episode we did, but I did watch the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. Some choices by James Gunn to use Fairy Tale in New York, but selected parts of Fairy Tale of New York.
Only that part. It was only
he
used 2 seconds of the song.
Considering he got fired for being an edgelord and then reinstated.
Edge Star-Lord.
There you go. That's a good enough jumping off point to start this story of Christmas cheer. I know we don't usually use sound effects, but I'd like to get a little like sleigh bell ringing. Ding, 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 ding. It's Christmas time.
Oh.
All across the land, little boys and girls.
You can't call her that anymore. We don't say that word. I grew up in a different time.
Oh, some of my best friends are Mrs. Claus. Well, it was a different time. It was the 23rd of December, 1939. There was a hush all across the land of Ireland when the IRA raided the National Arsenal and the magazine fort in Phoenix Park and drove off with over 1 million rounds of ammunition in the dead of night. Without making a sound.
What songs have you been listening to?
With a thumb of their nose and a wink of a reindeer's hoof, they broke in and fleeced the country of all of our ammunition.
Did you say the wink of a hoof?
No, the I don't know. Think the wink of a reindeer.
What was the bit about their hoof then?
It's magic. Shut up. It's a magical time.
Now I do feel in the Christmas spirit.
When along came a clatter and the IRA broke in and stole 1 million rounds of live ammunition to further their war efforts. So in all the reports of this, it always says that it was taken away in the dead of night with 0 casualties. But as we'll see later on, that's not strictly true. It was the late 1930s. Ireland had been a republic for 2 years at this point, and it had almost been 20 years since the War of Independence, but we were no closer to getting the North back from the British. The IRA were working on the S Plan, or the Sabotage Campaign, which is a plan to destroy...
I was going to ask, what did S stand for?
Sabotage. Subterfuge. They're just going to destroy infrastructure in Britain at the end of 1939, 1940. They're like, what if we went over and started just blowing up banks, military places, bridges and such?
Yeah. There must be some kind of a term for that. Like Occam's
terrorism?
Yeah. I was going to say, like, Occam's razor, be like, the most likely probability probably is the one. But like in terms of, let's just cut out all the fat. What are we doing? Yeah. Let's go over and just bomb shit. We could move around that a little and try to... No.
Let's go over and start bombing stuff.
Put our name to it. Do terrible things.
Yeah. Well... We haven't got time to get it. It's a Christmas episode. It's light and friendly. I mean, we did that at the start of the year.
Well, this is different, I guess. This is 19...
It's the 1930s IRA.
Yeah, we've been through that before. People don't like to separate modern and old and then original.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these lads never did nothing wrong in their lives.
No. But earlier on the year, we did with Des Bishop and like the Fenian... We invented international terrorism. Well, if you went over to England and blew up some stuff and maybe they'd give you your land back. And this is a continuation of that. But
so you said this is 1930s?
1939.
39, okay.
Yeah. So this is
the turn of the decade.
the turn of the decade.
The roaring 40s.
Yeah. The IRA is kind of on a downturn, I think. But this is their master plan, is just to start blowing up stuff in England. But the classic question, I always find this funny because you kind of don't think of the details of it. You're like, yeah, you know, the IRA had guns. We're an island nation. Where do the guns come from? We don't make any guns here. No one's selling us guns. If you want to do anything, the stork.
Yeah.
You can't just go down to the gun stork and ask for more guns.
Yes, you can.
Most of the guns,
Only
I
it's
think,
a bald eagle and it's on an American flag.
and just drops over weapons. I think in the 60s and 70s we were buying guns off the Libyans.
My great granddad was Moffley.
I mean,
Keep fighting the good fight, boys. And here's 50 quid for the GA. Why do you sound like that if you're third generation American? It's an affectation of using to feel closer to my past.
I mean, that's probably not too far from the truth. I don't know. Well, definitely in the later IRAs, they're getting their money from the Americans, passing around a hat for no raid to help out the GA teams back home to buy more Semtex.
Yeah. Seeing that, that phrase wouldn't really work. It's like your hat in your hand. If you're a man collecting money for remittances back home for the effort,
Yeah.
a hat in your hand is just, you're a millionaire.
Yeah, that's true. It's a full hat.
You might as well be at mass
Well,
stealing hats.
they've got the classic question: how do you get guns? Most of the guns they still had are probably like from the 20s. The whole gun running we talked about. They had a load of Thompson machine guns which had come over from the States. Tommy guns.
Could we set up a charity 10K out in Hoth?
Yeah.
The Hoth Fun Run.
The Hoth Fun Run. That's pretty good. That's the sort of thing that get you in trouble. That'd be great. Yeah, run from there to Bachelor's Walk. Instead of having a man with a starting pistol at the start, to be one at the end and you just get fucking...
Yeah, it'd be good.
I can't see any trouble with that.
We could donate all the money to charity.
Yeah.
To
buy him the Irish Raffle Association. But anyway, so they had guns. They had Tommy guns from the States, but they had no bullets.
Who'd need bullets?
Well,
It's the intimidation as soon as you see them with the guns.
if they had listened to Collins way back when, I don't want to be hearing about lads riddling lads. You know, save your bullets. But the bullets that they needed for the Tommy guns were hard to come by in continental Europe at the time. Also,
Well, at this stage, it's a pretty new gun, right? This is like the Al Capone gun, Chicago gangster, the one with the
I think
Bugsy Malone style.
yeah,
It's a big a circular canister.
they've been around for about 20 years, and I remember it's one of these, who knows, one of these things that it's always said that apparently some of the first Tommy guns in the world were used during wouldn't have been 1916, but during the War of Independence. There's a scene in the Michael Collins film where they get a big box of them, and apparently that was the first, or one of the first, but that would have been about 20 years ago at this stage. But it's a classic.
It's a fun looking gun.
It's a fun looking gun. It is also,
Either meant to be shite though, or that.
well,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
assuming
like-
if we had a load of them,
Yeah.
they probably weren't great. And there was nowhere else to get ammunition for them really in Europe. Also, there was just about to be a massive fuck off war that would take up a lot of ammo and guns. So there's a shortage. But luckily, by coincidence, the Irish Army, not to be confused with the Irish Republican Army, they also used the Thompson machine guns, and they had a load of ammo held in the Magazine Fort in Phoenix Park. Do you know the fort?
I don't know. Is it about the coffee shop place?
No.
No.
I don't know if you've been... You know where we always get off the bus?
Yeah. Now
What?
you're going to explain to me like I've never been to the Phoenix Park without you.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
You're like, no, it's not. You know where we always go,
Yeah, where we
but
always
it's not
go.
there, so you're not going to know it.
Yeah, well, it's closed now. It's still there, but I think they're slowly turning it into a museum. But you know, like the lodge, where we get off the bus, if you keep going down that road, in the lodge gate, do you ever go in that entrance? It's it's on the hill. It's just like a load of walls.
Okay.
But at the time, it was one of the main arsenals where all the weapons, all the bullets were kept. So the IRA says, sure, they're just sitting there. You know, the lads aren't using them. What if we took them?
It'd be a shame to see them go off.
They would, yeah. They go out of date.
There's child soldiers in Africa
Yeah.
who would love those bullets.
So the IRA Chief of Staff, Sean Russell, was out of the country at the time. But Stephen Hayes is, stand-in. The man who was looking after the shop while he was off. the idea was floated again. Apparently the idea had come up a few times to raid the fort. The idea came up again and it seemed feasible, so he was like, let's do it. Be a great Christmas for the boys.
Yeah, I already have questions, but I'm sure they'll be tended to as you go along.
Maybe. Well, we can talk about why.
In my mind, you've said now they've done it. The idea has been put forth a few times.
Yeah.
Fort. I'm over.
Yeah.
They go do it, and it's been knocked back, which makes it sound like one person or two people really want to do it.
Yeah.
And they keep bringing it up, and they keep getting it knocked back, and then it gets to Christmas. They have a couple of cans, and they say, "Do you know what? This would be a great present."
There is an idea that, like, yeah, Sean Russell's the man in charge is out of the country, and while he's gone, they're like, well, fucking, let's go. But I don't know what their hesitancy is. I don't know if are they against robbing the Irish Army? I don't think so. I think it is also just logistics of like where it's handy enough to rob a fort, but what do you do with it afterwards? It's the same as the Great Northern Bank robbery. You can rob a load of money, but what the fuck do you do with it after that?
Well, if it's ammo, you know what to do with it.
Well, yeah, but one of the questions we'll talk about at the end is where was Sean Russell during all this? But that'll be its own episode, I'd say. But the Phoenix, yeah, the magazine fort, it's up on a hill there inside Phoenix Park, built in the early 1700s to store gunpowder for the British, and they kept it garrisoned until 1922, after it was taken over by the Irish Army, and then we just put all their ammo there. Keep it all in one place, you know, all your eggs, get it into that big basket.
Yeah. Now, how big is this place?
I was going to say big enough, but that's not an answer.
I
was really hoping you'd know.
Compare it to another building. Is it the size of Cool Hand Luke's?
Much bigger than that. It's a star-shaped fort on a hill. It's like...
is it the size of
probably the size
Haveney?
It's the size of the grounds of Dublin Castle, maybe.
Glenavahurlo.
Yeah. These are your only frame of references for how big things are. It's bigger than a toaster and smaller than New York City. But it was also the site, supposedly, some of the earliest... I don't know. In 1916, they'd also went in to get bullets from it. And possibly the first shots fired and first casualties of the East Horizon were there. But yeah, since 1922, the Irish Army had been in there and using it. There was sentries stationed in the fort, but the bulk of the security was covered by the men nearby in Collins Barracks. Do you know where that is?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a museum now. But they were responsible for...
They do a class party there during Pride. They do like a festival there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We've come on a long way.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't know what the catchment area was called, but Collins Barracks, they're responsible for all the military buildings around like this part of the city. They'd send out, there'd be barracks around the place. They'd send out sentries and guards and stuff to all these different places, including the magazine fort. So on the 23rd of December, the night in question, the fort had a total of... And bearing in mind, this is where all the ammo is.
This is all the ammo we have to protect the country.
Yeah. Also, World War II has been going on for about 5 months now.
Okay. Well, also, this is... I said the country. This is just Dublin / a few places around.
Yeah, I'm sure there are other ammo dumps around. It was referred to as the National Arsenal. I'm sure there's other ammo places around the country. But it's Dublin city centre. You'd imagine there's a lot of the ammo is here.
Yeah.
How many men do you reckon protecting it?
Okay, it's... All right, well, look, it's 2 days before Christmas.
Yeah.
Which means it's 1 day before Christmas Eve.
True.
So technically everyone should have already been on holidays for about 2 months now.
Yeah. So I mean, they're civil servants, so... Yeah, they've had the red office on for about 3 weeks.
If they're doing like a shift share, I'd say you could probably get one person on.
Yeah.
No, I'd say if there's... I'm going to say 2 to 3 people. Maybe 2.
Okay, well, you have a very low opinion of the place. It's 14 men.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sorry.
Sorry for what?
It's just that I jumped to it. It sounds like for any of our military... We must have some army fellas listening to us.
Yeah.
I don't think that lowly of you. What I do think lowly of is Kevin's ability to tell a story. And I thought he was setting it up to be like, how many do you think? I was like, it can't be. It has to be at least 20.
Yeah.
No. Because by right, you'd imagine if it's all the ammunition for the country, it should be about 100?
100,
yeah.
Probably, yeah. But they also have no... Well, there's 14. There's a commanding officer, a Captain Curran. There's a non-commissioned officer, 6 men with rifles and 1 Lewis gun, 1 military policeman, and then like a fire picket. Not really sure what that is, but there's another NCO in there, and 4 men with guns. So even, it's not like 14 of the crack squad It seemed, and
Like
Captain Curran later on is described as a very elderly man who's been in charge of this place for about 25 years.
But what are they thinking? They're the army,
Yeah.
right? So if they're like, right, any wrongness being done in the country, it's probably coming from us anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not as if there's a Roman military faction.
No, yeah, that would make sense. But also, I guess they might be just thinking they're not going to rob the army.
That is pretty much what they're thinking, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which you should be. You shouldn't live your life expecting not to be robbed by the IRA for guns.
No.
But also,
Or money.
yeah, but you have it in the back of your head.
Yeah.
Plan for it.
It's
Just in case.
like many of those things in history where, like, you know, yeah, hindsight's 2020. After it happened, sure, maybe we should have had more men looking after all of the bullets we own. But, you know, you gotta learn as you go along. I wonder how many men are looking after all the bullets we have now. Probably 20.
2.
So on the night of the raid, there was a Christmas party going on in the officers' mess in Collins Barracks. Most of the married men with families were off on leave for Christmas, so it was just the young single lads.
I thought you were going to say most of the men who were married with kids were saying, I had to do overnight duty. I have to go down to the barracks. Oh, I'm sorry, love.
Sorry, love, I gotta
I
go down.
won't get to wake up on Christmas morning and see the young lad's face. What's that sound? Nothing. I gotta go. Bye.
Glug, 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 glug. No, it's the opposite. It's even better. All the old men with their wives and kids have fucked off.
Yeah.
And it's just the young lads stationed for a big session in the office. But as well as like some of the, I don't know how many of them would have been based in Dublin, but officers who were on leave came back with their wives because cheap drink, free party.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's just the legends left.
But so how many people are in there?
Don't know, a lot. More than there are. More than looking after all the weapons.
Yeah, but if it's on the grounds of,
It's the main barracks.
it's the main barracks, so you have 14 people just looking after the ammunition part.
Yeah.
That's grand. If you have another, how many people are in the barracks? There's probably 100.
probably more than 100, yeah.
So then
And
you're fine.
Yeah, and it's
You know
only
what?
it's only a brief Lewis
It's
trip down.
It's a misuse of public funds to
Yeah.
have 14 lads there when 2 would have done the job. Because I'm assuming 14 didn't do the job.
No, but the fort where all the weapons are is in Phoenix Park, and the barracks is in Collins Barracks.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I know it's close, but also at the same time, it's not like next door.
No, but they've got vans,
Do they?
probably.
They're all trying to get onto the just use the one leap card to pass back.
They walked into the Lewis and go, hold on, as we make it the next one. The inspector's here.
Yeah, half them are hopping off when a five is shops on. But yeah, so it's just the young single lads and some of the fellas with their wives back for the cheap drink. Open bar, maybe.
We're saying young single lads, no young single women in there partying with them.
In the 1939 army.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just don't leave them out of the story like women are for most of history.
But the commanding officer there that night was Mickey Kilkelly.
Kelly.
Kilkelly? Kilkelly. Another reference to Catch Me If You Can.
Just because it was
Has
two
anyone
Ks.
here seen Kelly?
Oh.
K-double-L-Y. Anyway, he was a 45-year-old confirmed bachelor and king of the pints.
Is confirmed bachelor, you know, his
Yeah, I
way of saying
realized.
gay man.
I wrote. I don't know because a lot of this account for what happens inside the barracks came from a man called Captain Sean Prendergast of Carlow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, Prendergast, common name down there.
yeah. So a lot of this comes from him, and he referred to him as like he kind of I don't know. He alluded to like he kept saying he had a reputation, Kilkeely.
Of what?
I don't know. He wouldn't say.
Like,
But, well, I mean, nowadays you look at it and you're like, right, 45-year-old confirmed bachelor who's doing nothing around Christmas, only drinking with a load of young men in a barracks. You'd be, yeah. Well, I don't think that's what he was implying.
I think the term is legend.
Yeah, no, I think he was implying that he was just a bit of a legend. As we will see in the next paragraph.
Just confirmed bachelor is great.
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
remember
lads,
that.
you know, a lot of lads you'd be looking at going, I bet they have a sneaky missus on the side somewhere. They just don't let people know about them.
Yeah.
I caught you. You are single.
I mean, this is just the double standard, I suppose, between men and women. Women got stuck with, if you're single after like, 24, you're a spinster, which is just you're alone in a house with a shawl, making shawls for other lonely women. Whereas men, confirmed bachelor.
Confirmed bachelor.
Confirmed bachelor.
Yeah.
You can't be a confirmed spinster. I mean, if you're a confirmed spinster, it just means you've got more than 4 cats. If you're a confirmed bachelor, it means you've just gotten your second Maori tattoo and you can chug a 6-pack in under 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's it. Just keep yourself interesting. Once you hit like 35 and the looks, you know, lads will age well.
Yeah.
And they'll, you know, but you still got to stay in shape. Got to keep it tight.
Yeah.
You know, you can go silver haired, like Silver Fox. That's all grand. But keep it tight and then pick up one new skill every, like, one useless skill.
Oh, yeah.
Every 5 years. Like, learn how to scuba. Like, I met an Irish lad who was scuba over in New Orleans, and he was moving out to Belize to go. And I was like, you have nothing going on.
Yeah.
You're mid-40s. You're talking about how you're a scuba instructor and you're moving off to Belize on your own. You're like, this, maybe your life's good, but this seems a bit sad.
Yeah.
Because we're having a weather warning and we've been told to go inside from like a tornado that's on the way in. And you're like, nah, I've seen this enough. Fuck that. I'm staying for pints.
As if I have to go inside.
I'll be alone
I'll
with
be
my
alone with
thoughts.
myself for another hour. Next time I won't be coming back up from that scuba session.
Maybe he listens.
Hey, shout out you.
I hope not. I've just kind of wrote him off there, but he seemed like a nice lad.
Yeah, we do have listenership in Belize. But anyway, Kilkeely, I think the implication is that he's a bit of a legend, a bit of a pint king. So this again comes from Sean Prendergast, Captain Prendergast. And a lot of this again came from a website that seems to be run by Brennans. It's a Carlo history website. And everyone involved with it had the second name Brennan. So I assume you're related to half of them.
Well,
So he said...
no, wait, what, Brennans of where? There's a lot of Brennans in Carlo.
I don't know. There's not that many people of any kind in
And
Carlo.
I wouldn't want to be lumped in with the rest of them.
Yeah,
just
sure.
off the, you know, just because you have the same last name,
Yeah.
like my brother.
Yeah, he can't prove anything. But yeah, I don't know what accent to give this guy because he's from Carlo, but everything about this story makes it seem like he should have a very British military accent.
Okay, do my accent for the rest of it,
All right.
and I'll do.
That's quite a good lad.
I'll do yours.
Perhaps I should explain the atmosphere at the party. It was the middle of the phony war, and the people were singing, hanging out their washing on the Siegfried line. Good companionship, good cheer, piano and singing. At about 9:30, the phone rang in the mess. That's pretty good. People probably thought that was just you.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if I've ever heard that before. Like World War II was referred to as the phony war for like the first 7 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the British referred to it as the Boer War, but spelled like B-O-R-E.
Yes.
It's like it's supposed to the Boer War was in South Africa in the early 1900s, and they called this like the Boring War.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
It is.
For like the first, because this is December, so war would have broke out in August-ish, and they were like, fucking the French again.
This is the Mickey Mouse War.
It's a Mickey Mouse War. Who told us that story? Was that Tony told us that story the other night of a fella? He was in some bar somewhere down the country, and this guy came in, and they're like, Jesus, man, I thought you had a heart attack. He's like, it was only a Mickey Mouse heart attack. Give me a pint. I think you were just talking about Irish lads just using, of a certain age, just being like, so it was only a fucking Mickey Mouse stroke. To mean not serious.
It's not serious.
It
was only a cod.
That's only an old Mickey Mouse war over there. But anyway, that's pretty funny. I think that stopped after Hitler like invaded Denmark and Norway. And they're like, oh, fuck. Which means at that point, I guess they'd already invaded Poland. And they were like, it's all a bunch of sticks games over there.
8 months. I've had longer shites.
Anyway, around 9:30, the call comes into the mess. Prendergast said that the party came to a halt. The phone was handed over to the CEO, Mr. Michael Kilkelly, who apparently said down the line, Lieutenant, how long are you in the army? You're in the army 3 years, and you can't deal with a few fucking shots. And then he hung up.
So, all right, leaving the drink jokes, the easy ones out of the way, right? Iran calls them to say they're under fire.
Yeah. So Prendergast doesn't know what happened on the other end of the phone, but also he says that explicitly in his account, but also means he didn't ask. Prendergast is like high up in the military. So they're having a party, a phone call comes in, they can only hear one half of the call, but the guy's like, what? How long are you in the military now? Yeah, 3 fucking years and you can't deal with a couple of shots, and then just hangs up on him. And no one asks anything, and they all go back to the session.
The crack.
Oh, the crack. And now, I mean, you can
It's
probably
a
guess where
Christmas
this...
miracle.
A lot of this stuff comes from, like, you know, the inevitable court-martials. So this is the version of the story that, like, this is the best version.
This is the one they went with.
This is the version this is what we put forward. Yes, we did get a call. Yes, but now...
Like, I've been watching Succession over the last few days, catching up on things that, like, normal people watch.
Yeah.
And it's been
Like
very
normal
good.
people.
Mm-hmm. And then we're looking for a patsy. at that stage, like a court martial when it comes to that, like you're saying, like, this is what you're willing to admit. I want to know, like, what they were actually doing, and the conversations around that of, like, I'm thinking Wolf of Wall Street style, like they're throwing midgets against target boards, stuff like that. Like, I'm not admitting to that. What did you do? I did pick up the phone, and I'll admit this. He did tell me he was under attack.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's 1939. I'd say at the time they were probably just drinking the heads of themselves, and that was it. There was a man playing the piano. That's all the crack you need.
Piani at the time.
Piani. But even they were singing songs about, like, hang the washing on the Siegfried line.
Oh yeah, I thought you were going to say they were singing rebel songs.
They probably, I don't know what rebel song he was singing. He said that they interrupted another song called Run the Rabbit Around. I don't know. It all seems like all these old British mess hall songs.
But I suppose the Irish Army at this stage, so how long has it been in operation?
Since 1919, and then half of them left to be the IRA, and
so it's not been going too long. But you still would imagine by now that they would be singing Irish songs, not old British military ones.
Well, I suppose if they were singing Irish military songs, they'd probably be outside robbing the fort and not inside looking after it.
You get the call, you're like, you're under attack. What are they singing?
Yeah, well,
I'm not saying it's an inside job.
It doesn't seem like there's anyone inside the place at all to form an inside job. So the call later turned out to be from the Island Bridge Barracks, which is
in Island Bridge.
In Island Bridge, I think it was later called Clancy Barracks, maybe, and now it's Clancy Key Apartments. Mm-hmm. So yeah, again, like Collins Barracks, I think is the main barracks for that whole area. They would send guards out routinely, like every day. A duty officer would go out, do an inspection of the place, get a report, give it the okay, and then back to the barracks. But when the officer went out to inspect the Island Bridge Barracks that day, while he was about to leave, they started coming under fire from Liffey Bridge, which I assume is just that bridge over Island Bridge that makes it.
You think? I thought that was Island Bridge.
Yeah, probably, but I suppose it's confusing if the place is called Island Bridge and it's an island, and the bridge is called Island Bridge.
Lachlan Bridge. It's a bridge. It's a bridge. It's called Lachlan Bridge.
Don't bring Carlo into prove any point about how things should be named. But so he comes under fire. Naturally, he calls for help back to the barracks. He gets told to shut the fuck up and deal with it. So yeah, the party goes on. Prendergast kept drinking until around midnight. He went down to checking his troops in the barracks in Collins Barracks before he went to bed. He got up the next day and he had a lift back to Carlo that he'd arranged with some of the other men. It's Christmas Eve now. Mm-hmm. He hops in with them and they're just arriving home back to Carlo around 12 o'clock on Christmas Eve. Everyone's coming out from mass. He's getting excited. He's got a bit of a hangover from the night before, but he's probably woke up with a little bit of the fear, and he's like, just come on, Prendergast. What's the worst? Come on now. I didn't make that much of a fool of myself in front of the lads. Be grand. Go down for Christmas dinner. See the whole family. Have a grand old time in the First World War II Christmas. And he gets back to his house. The civic guards had arrived, and they tell him that there'd been a massive raid in Dublin the night before, and that him and his men were responsible for it. So it's back on the train with Prendergast, back to the barracks, and landing right into the thick of it.
Okay, that's the show you've watched.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So he didn't even check the next morning?
No. He got the whole way back to Carlo, and he only found out about it. I don't know, the civic guards must have made their way back down there, found him, and were like, man, there was a giant raid last night.
They should have been working the night before. Two men like that, the IRA got not.
I don't know.
So that night, he didn't go check. So he gets the phone call at 9:30.
Yeah, he doesn't even know what the phone call's about. It only turns out later on. Like, I guess no one checked.
No one checked. Yeah, but so you're telling me that he gets a phone call.
Yeah.
He goes and answers it.
He doesn't answer it. Kilkeely answers it, but he's there. He answers it in the middle of a party, and everyone hears Kilkeely's side of it.
Kilkeely picks it up.
Yeah.
He says,
how long have you been in the military?
Yeah.
Can you not deal with a couple of fucking... Come on.
A couple of shots.
Yeah.
He puts it down. Everyone else looks... What?
Everyone else looks at him, and Kilkeely probably goes, "Hey!"
I went shots of whiskey.
Yeah. And everyone goes nuts again, and the piano is back going. And yeah, he never follows up on it the next day.
But that night he doesn't... Did they kill the 14 men?
We'll go through what happened in the fort now, but it doesn't make any sense that surely the news by the next morning must have made it back to the main barracks that the place was robbed.
Yeah, but that's a good... Optically, PR-wise.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, it's great.
No.
Because look at it and go, no, Jesus, I didn't even know. They must have been under a cover of darkness.
It must have been so stealthy.
Just was it Ocean's 11?
Yeah. So the raid, this all came out afterwards, but the raid was carried out by roughly 50 men in 4 lorries, which had been commandeered for the attack.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, the 4 lorries drove in through 4 different gates in Phoenix Park and then met up down by the fort. Now, I read some of the newspaper reports from the time about this, and they kept being like, how devilishly clever, how mastermind. It was Ocean's 11, which, the original Ocean's 11. No, well, that's still about 20 years away. But anyway.
20? God, no. It's set in like modern times.
No, the original one is the Rat Pack.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
it's a real piece of shit film. But when, I don't know, when were they around? The 50s, 60s?
Yeah.
Anyway, they wouldn't have known about that. But when they talk about it in the papers, they're like, it's almost as if they'd be like, and no one could have defended against such master criminality. We certainly can't blame our brave boys in green for getting hoodwinked by this.
You'd need to have a sick, twisted mind to have seen the flaw in this.
Yeah.
In this security system.
So
what was it?
Here's the master plan. So they all drive in with the lorries, they park up, all the lads hop out under cover of darkness. One man, dressed in an Irish Army uniform,
clever,
with a present in his hand, walks up to the front door and rings the bell. The military police officer comes in. The man says, I've got a gift here for the CEO, the boss man. And now...
bottle of whiskey.
There's different accounts of what happens next, but basically he opens the gate to accept the gift. Now he says he bends down to unbolt the gate, comes up, there's a gun in his face. Other accounts are that he came outside, the lads were having a good old chat, a good old catch up.
Here's have a shot of it yourself before you give it off to him.
Well, the CEO's not around. Well, you look like the man in charge. Either way, he gets a load of men running after him. He basically just goes, again, there's like...
wait, where did the reports come from? This is all from the court-martial. He says that he came up and there was a gun in his face.
Yeah.
So the only other people who would have seen it, it would have been the lads in the RA who would have been like, no, I tell you what happened.
Yeah. Again, this is what makes it into the court-martial. So it's probably a bit of both. But either way, even in the court, like he didn't ask him for identification, I guess. He shouldn't have been able to get into a position where even without opening the gate, a gun could be in his face.
Yeah, well, there's no bulletproof glass at the time, I imagine.
But like, he could be up in the fort looking down.
Yeah.
Basically, he saw a man saunter up with a uniform and a package, and he was like, well, this seems legit to me. The only man in charge tonight. So then I think the story is that they go around, he basically just walks around in his military uniform casually. No one pays him any attention. He just walks up behind each of the sentries.
He's in a military uniform.
Yeah, just a general military uniform. Not of a general.
Not of a general.
No. And he walks up to each sentry one at a time, gun in the face. So there's no one raises an alarm. They basically just walk in and take control of the place.
It's like a video game.
Yeah, it is. It's like stealthy hitman. So once they have control of the fort, so they go. This is around.
So gun in their face, but they're not shooting them
because they have no bullets. That's what they're there for.
Yeah. So yes, I'm trying to understand.
They probably have a few, but they don't want to kill them.
Yeah, but it's that don't say anything. Come with me. Yeah. Sit there. I have to go and get someone else.
Exactly.
So stay there and don't do anything.
Yeah, maybe they were gagged and tied. I don't know. But this is all around 8:30. So they go in, take control of the place in a matter of minutes, and they're there until 10:30. By 10:30, they have the 4 lorries loaded up with over, I think it was 1,084,000 rounds. So over 1 million rounds of ammunition.
Jesus. These are the good bullets that it's a big number anyway.
Yeah,
but these are the little tiny pellets, like pebbles. So you shoot a load in a Tommy gun. It's like
yeah. It's an automatic. Yeah, but considering they robbed the place with revolvers, handguns,
that we don't know if they're loaded or not. Probably are loaded.
No, they probably are, but it's a big win for them.
And the guns were probably full too.
But so they have a good while. Like that's a long time between 8:30 and 10:30 loading up.
Too long,
considering. So it was part of their like kind of. This is also their mastermind criminality. They went down to Island Bridge Barracks and started firing shots there as a way to distract the local military.
And that's pretty clever, but also it seems like you didn't even need to.
It seems like they didn't need, but it's also not that clever because it's only 800 meters away. Like it's spitting distance. If the military was going around to look after you, you're supposed to distract them on the other side of town, not like down the road from where you're doing the heist.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, you're right. It seems like they didn't need them because the guy starts shooting at Island Bridge. That's what the phone call to the officers' mess is about, and they don't care.
Maybe they'd be worried that it's too far away for them to actually go out there. If they get a call and they're like, wait, 10 miles away, I'm not going over there. If it's a few hundred meters away, they're still not going.
Yeah.
So they're worried that like, let's do some more shorts. There's a possibility of them being distracted by it.
Fair.
Like your man last night who kicked the window off the taxi.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was like, well, where's he going? Did he say Finglas?
Finglas, yeah.
Yeah, and the guy was like, I'm not going out there. And then he just started screaming, that's against the law! That's against the law! I'll teach you! And he ran up to kick the mirror off the car.
Yeah.
I was like, that. Well, it is probably illegal for him to do that. Do you know what it's also illegal?
Kick a window of a car.
Kick a window off a car.
But then whatever about his initial grievance, he came back to another separate taxi who had just seen all this unfold. He's like, where are you going? I'm going to Finglas. And he's like, I'm not taking. He's like, you can't take me just because I'm going to Finglas. I'm not taking you because you're standing in the middle of the road screaming at me, and I just saw you try and kick a wing mirror off a different car.
He tried that one then as well. Like,
He did, yeah. He's like, I'll show you.
His friend got in the way.
So potentially the first taxi driver might have also had reason not to take him as well.
I'm sick of this stereotype about Finglas people. It's a lovely, safe place to live. I'll fucking show you. What a night.
That was good fun. Yeah, Gary was there as well. And Gary features into this story, and we're all sitting out the other night. He dropped I don't think I'd said that I was going to do this story, but he was telling me that his grandfather. So yeah, earlier on we were saying in the newspaper, they say there's no casualties. Casualty is just someone who's injured. His granddad was the lodge keeper. I think he was saying his dad then was born in the lodge in Phoenix Park.
Yeah.
So he was the lodge keeper. He ended up in hospital. So he's mentioned my name in a few of the articles. It must have been going through one of the gates. They'd like beat him up, either on the way in or the way out. But he ended up in hospital. But he's kind of named as the only casualty in some of the accounts.
Okay.
Whereas most of the accounts say there was nobody.
But he didn't die, he just got hurt.
No, but he did. He ended up in hospital.
Christ.
Yeah.
Fair play to him.
Yeah.
Why don't they reference him?
I don't know. He's mentioned in the articles at the time, but I think it's a bit more flashy, the headline to be like, it's funnier to be like, all this ammunition was robbed in 2 hours with no casualties and no shots fired and no one. I suppose the main bit is that no one in the fort was killed. It's just like they didn't put up any fight. They just kind of walked in. They Trojan horsed them and stole a load of bullets without any real fight and without any reinforcements showing up to stop them, and then just drove off. That's a bit more clean cut than also they beat up a man on the gate.
Yeah, it just feels weird that they didn't touch anyone else. Everyone else got off scot-free.
Yeah.
Like, was Gary's granddad.
He probably tried to stop them. But then also it plays into the IRA, the mythology. It's better to be like, we're gentlemen burglars. We're Ocean's 11ing it, you know? Danny Ocean wouldn't be such a smooth character if at some point he just started fucking kneeing a security guard and pulled out a knife and threatened to, you're like, that's not smooth criminal. That's not what MJ was singing about at all. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a bit of an embarrassment for the Irish Army, for the country. The mouth of Christmas, the whole place has been fleeced. Kevin O'Higgins, a TD, on the 3rd of January 1940 said, I suppose in the whole history of armies since the world began, there was never such a disaster as the picture of an army losing all its ammunition without as much as a blackthorn being used.
Mm-hmm. They had
Pretty
pistols.
good. They did, but that's, again, not as colourful.
Yeah.
Well, a blackthorn switch,
for the sake of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the headline. For the
plays better.
For the poems that are going to come out about it afterwards.
Yeah. But no, in fairness, but the guns, they weren't used. So he's right. They didn't even use the stick.
It sounds like they used them to beat the shit out of Gary's granddad.
Yeah, that's true. But so there's a call to action. Prendergast talks about this. He comes back. It's DEFCON 4. Everyone's freaking out. So they arrest 4 of the raiders in the following days. I think 2 of them were arrested. So doesn't really make sense. The news never got back to Collins Barracks, but Portobello Barracks responded to. I think eventually the alarm was raised from Island Bridge, which would have been already under fire. I don't know. Eventually people got there anyway, after the guns had gone, but they found 2 of the raiders still near the scene. They were arrested. 2 more were arrested in the following days. And over the course of the next couple of weeks, they basically got most of the ammo back.
How?
It's the same thing again as you're like, right, well, this is probably why the initial IRA leadership didn't want to rob it. It was only when Russell was out they're like, well, why don't we just take it?
That's because everyone's going to talk and the lads will be chatting out in the pub that night. You'll get caught.
Right, you've got the weapons. Where do you put them? And it's the same as the raid, the bank robbery raid. They reckon they didn't realize there was that much ammunition. And then once you have it, you're like, what the fuck are we going to do with it? And so initially it's seen as like a win.
Think of the, I don't have a specific place in mind, but say like any big old empty building.
Yeah. But any big old empty building, I don't think the IRA is not like at its peak popularity at the minute.
You just need one lad with a back room the size of this
to
just throw a load of ammunition into.
You do, but now you've also got, because it's seen as such an embarrassment to the army, you know, it's kind of like it's like when a guard gets shot. It's like, this is the main priority. You're going to get the full force of, they all go out. Prendergast describes he's in charge of some contingent based around Naas. He said they just went out every night in an armoured car, driving up and down until 9 in the morning, just following any lead. Illegal raids. Well, actually, we'll talk about the illegal raids now, because this factors into another bit. But basically, there was all hands on deck. And so initially, it's a big win for the IRA. They get away with all the ammo. Within 2 months, it's a disaster, because not only do they find most of the ammunition and get it back, they've now uncovered, like, whoever they find with the ammunition, they're volunteer, arrested. They find other stuff that's been stolen that's been held in the same places. So they get back more.
They found the 6 counties?
They found the 6 counties. Yeah, I'm sure that's what one of the smart lads was like, yeah, you fucking... A load of it was found in a dock. But I'm sure lads are like, oh, you're down here looking for stolen goods. Hey, I bet you keep tipping on up there. I got 6 counties worth of stolen goods. But, well, yeah, so what I was talking about there, the illegal raids. The timeline of this I'm not 100% sure on, because again, it's a bit like apocryphal, or I don't know. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. But World War II kicks off around August. The Emergency Powers Act 1939 gets debated and signed into law early September 1939.
Okay, good. I'll just let you know I was really happy that you went down this route, because when you were like, you know, just don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Yeah.
World War II, some figures I'd like to talk about.
Yeah. There's a couple of numbers that need to be looked at here. But the timeline, so, you know, the Irish government is like, it's emergency time, there's a war going on, they bring in this Emergency Power Act. Now, they say that the raid happens the day before. A lot of articles and stuff would say that the raid happens the day before the Emergency Power Act came in, but it's 3 months afterwards. But I think it does get amended. So that quote from Kevin O'Higgins is from a debate in the Emergency Powers Act from the 3rd of January. So I think after the raid happens, they amend the act, which has only been around for a couple of months. But anyway, they bring in these emergency powers, and it might be after the raid, they bring in more specific stuff that brings back internment of people in the IRA, and they get rid of habeas corpus, which is, if you're arrested, you have the right to a trial.
Yeah.
But when you get rid of that, you can just lock up lads. You don't need things like evidence or a day in court. So I don't know if that was around in the September version of the bill or if that came in afterwards. Maybe it was, but maybe it was then specifically tailored to the IRA after the raid. I don't know. But it's not good for the lads anyway.
But like, they've pulled that habeas corpus out of the law a few times.
Yeah.
It's basically their way of flipping over the board game when they're losing.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense for the style of the IRA and, you know, Dublin criminal gangs and the size of the country. Mm-hmm. But we are one of the only countries that has special criminal courts where there's no jury. Like, I think if you look at the list, it is like us and Belize and certain dictatorships in Central Africa. But
maybe that's why that guy was gone to Belize.
Maybe. But anyway, so it could have been a knock-on effect of this, to like, how about we put the IRA on the list of, because presumably all this stuff was set up for Nazis. I don't even know. It was just wartime. They're like, let's just get rid of having to have trials. That's really going to slow things down during wartime. But on the 17th of February, Prendergast, he was supposed to get off at midday to go play a game of football at 1 o'clock. Him and his one of the other lieutenants, Austy Flood, who was the man who was playing the piano at the party, actually. I left that bit out for some reason. Austy's a strange name.
Yeah.
Austin, even that'd be a strange name in Ireland.
I just wonder if you related to Willow Flood.
The two boys, they're looking forward to getting off early and playing a bit of football. They're told you got to stay in late. Special assignment. And they head down. There's a raid in Parnell Square where they surrounded a hotel down there and took out 15 IRA men and found a bulk of the ammunition there.
You said took out. Do you mean like...
no, arrested.
Okay.
Yeah. Arrested, but...
Because that's never been the way you'd...
But I would imagine this is early February, so depending on... These are probably some of the first men detained under this new rule. So 15 of them are arrested. They don't get their day in court. A lot of them go on hunger strike. 2 of them die on hunger strike. Tony Darcy and Sean McConnell. And then like one of them... Prendergast said one of them died after 72 days. But yeah, I don't know when that act lapsed. I'd also read something I don't know if it's true, but you know, people always joke about that the World War II was called the emergency here. I read one line, I meant to look into it more. Apparently, there's not much evidence that it was, apart from this Emergency Act. And people kind of think that the Troubles is obviously called the Troubles, but apparently at the time people didn't refer to World War II as the emergency. They were busy calling it the phony war.
Yeah, I don't know.
That bother in Munich.
Yeah, but I just assume
Yeah, I don't really.
that maybe the newspapers weren't, but on the ear to the ground.
Yeah, but there'd be so many names for it. Why would you refer to it as like the emergency? There's the Emergency Powers Act, but
It was a big deal.
that was a big deal, yeah.
No, I mean the World War II. It's pretty
I know,
big
but you
deal.
refer to
Much
it
as you try to downplay it every day.
But I mean, I'm sure like the people be getting most of their news from like British, or like they weren't referring to it as the emergency. It was referred to as like the World War II, Hitler's war.
Yeah.
The phony. They dropped the old boring war stuff
Firstly,
pretty quickly.
We weren't reading English newspapers. Secondly,
They were reading it
we-
unpublished.
we couldn't read.
So we were just, there was a newspaper here called the Sports Section, and the rest of it was thrown out.
His hand us the newspaper. He go, I don't know what this is. Emergency.
But yeah, I don't know. Thought that was an interesting bit that I have no backing up. I'm
Well,
sure.
I'll tell you this now.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
Okay.
Because everyone in Ireland knows what that term means.
Yeah.
And you can use it fairly like casually, blasé, and people will
Yeah.
laugh.
Yeah.
So you're wrong.
That's true. Think about every other single thing you know that everyone else knows, and then you look at it, it's like, oh yeah, that was completely wrong. Mm-hmm. Let's see. A quick Google says, who knows? But anyway, so people can be wrong sometimes, and maybe the emergency was never the emergency, or maybe it was, and I should have done more research into that before I stuck it into the end of this script. But in the aftermath of the raid, there's an inquiry into it, which saw Kilkeely being dishonourably discharged. Mm-hmm. Can a man not have 76 points?
Yeah. There's, oof.
And Captain Curran, so the elderly officer who's in charge of the magazine fort, so he'd left at 8 o'clock that night. So the raid happens at 8:30. He walked out at 8 o'clock. And
Was that his allotted time?
no, he was meant to be there. In his statement,
Until what time?
there for the night, I'd imagine.
Oh, then I was going to say, look, the last hour he's already closing up, lads. We're stopping serving now.
Well, what happened in the court martial, what he says is that he went out. He was at confession at the time, at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night, the
Yeah.
day before Christmas Eve. And when I read that, I was
I'd like to
pull
apologise.
the other one. But then it could also easily be true.
I'd like to apologise for what? I'm in on a raid with the IRA.
That's the stupid movie moment then when like it's cutting between the two. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. And then it goes back to the raid.
It's been 10 minutes.
And he's got his stopwatch. And he's got it down to the... oh yeah, because he could tell the priest everything, but he can't say it in court.
I don't know if that is true.
I think it is.
I don't think it is.
Well, if they not got confidentiality,
Yeah, it's like a doctor. Just
that's just something that fucking Hollywood made up to trick us into purging ourselves.
get them drunk enough. It's like on the record or off
Yeah.
it with journalists.
Yeah. It's nothing.
It's nothing.
But yeah, so I don't know, maybe that was true. He's an old man. Maybe he's just going for confessions at 9 o'clock at night before Christmas on a Saturday night. You got to get your sins clean before Jesus comes.
That's true.
So he got fired, but for some reason, it's only a throwaway. This is the end of Prendergast notes. We talked about the 13th Dáil a lot in the Brown episode. They came into power in 1948, so I don't know when the court martial was, but about a decade afterwards. Apparently he had all of his pension and stuff restored when they got in. I don't know. Was there a groundswell campaign, or was that part of some deal?
It's part of the original deal. That like will sort you out eventually.
Yeah.
I'm mad for backhand deals now.
Yeah.
I've gone full
after
into
watching
Succession,
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. Yeah. It's just a funny note in Irish history. They walked in, stole a load of weapons in the mouth of Christmas, got them all handed back.
It was 50 men.
Apparently.
Yeah.
There must have been 50 of them coming at us. Who knows? But the only other note then from that, which will definitely be its own episode, the senior staff chief of the IRA.
He said he was away.
He was away in business. Sean Russell was out trying to drum up support for the IRA.
With the Germans?
Well, he went to a little place called America. And then he went to another, well, it had been a little place initially, and then it got a lot bigger. He went to Nazi Germany looking for help with the war effort. He'd also been to Soviet Russia in the 20s. So he got around. But his statue's in Fairview Park, and it gets paint thrown at it every once in a while. I want to read more about him anyway, but I think the cliff notes were because he was there for explosives training. He got sick anyway when he was over there, and he was on his way home when he died en route to Ireland in 1942 on board a Nazi Germany U-boat.
Okay.
Now, that's not a good look.
No.
Now, since then, I think even at the time, his statue was erected maybe in the 50s and people were throwing paint on it within a couple of months. And even, it's still there, but up until this day, people still deface it a good bit. I think at the minute it might have a rainbow flag painted around it. But there's an awful lot of to and fro as to where, like, the word Nazi gets thrown around a lot. And what is a Nazi? Is it a man who's learning weapons training from literal Nazis and who died on board a Nazi vessel in the middle of World War II with the Nazis? Now, I said Nazi a lot in that sentence, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he was one.
Feels like a trick.
It does. Now, so I don't know. Of course, there's conflicting reports on whether he was or whether he wasn't. But I would say it's not a great place to die if you're not a Nazi.
And then the other options are Russia.
Yeah.
Or American.
Yeah.
Maybe he did pick the right one in the end.
Maybe he did. But, yeah, we can talk about him at some point.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Yeah. Tis interesting.
Because you always imagine that a lot of people at the time, it's Ireland's opportunity, like England's...
Yeah. And sure, there was war all the time. And
this is you forget on the end, like, England, they're distracted. Ireland can do well out of this. We don't mention what's on the other side of that.
No.
The possible, the ruin of the entire world.
Yeah. But at the time, yeah, obviously we know, obviously we did know in the 50s and 60s, World War II was bad. That seems to have gone away as a sort of certain fact in the last 2 decades or so. But in 1942, I don't know. We've talked about it before in Mary Elms, was it? And the main, the full scale of the Holocaust wasn't known until after World War II. And at the time, did people know what was happening? I think that they probably knew. I think I remember from the Mary Elms episode, it was the general consensus that bad stuff was happening. They knew a lot of Jewish people were being moved out east and not coming back. But whether they knew what was going on, but he was in Nazi Germany, so he probably would have known more about that. The real question is, did people care about it? I mean, we had quotes at the time from, like, what was your man's, where the bees are, there is honey, and where the Jews are, there is the money.
That
was in the Dole in the middle of World War II. But yeah, you kind of wonder, like, did they, even if they did know, did they care until afterwards? But anyway, whether a man's a Nazi or not, hard to prove nowadays. Even hard to prove when you're on a Nazi submarine, apparently. But anyway, while he was gone, the boys did the Christmas raid and punch Gary's granddad and robbed a load of weapons and then had to hand them back.
Yeah.
And it heralded in a new era of internment without trial.
Yeah, it is tough to look back. And hindsight, 2020.
Yeah.
But turns out they should have listened to the Nazi.
Yeah.
It was a terrible idea. They shouldn't have done it.
No.
But the only man who could...
Yeah.
The only man. He's gone away now. We can make some terrible decisions.
Fair play to them all anyway.
And you said they all got caught. Or a good lot of them did. They retrieved all... But they didn't catch 50 people. Did you say it was...
No. They caught... There was 15 people in that raid and they went on a hunger strike. But I think in the whole scheme of it, they caught a lot of people. They got even more probably than were on the raid initially.
And just Christmas.
What
a time to go on hunger strike.
I know, yeah. Well, happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Goodbye.
Yep, Shafter.
This show is part of the Head Stuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with Head Stuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.